The parcel opened, out it sprang. The black, long-legged Possum man. Children run, elate and smother, any child without a mother.
Matthew Holness is a face a lot of British people will recognise. He's the writer, co-creator, plus actor of the fantastic Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. It's a hilarious send-up of old cheesy 80s television shows done so realistically you'd think it really was a lost television series that never saw it to air. But it's all just in good fun. Every scene in it has something funny to spot and is endlessly quotable.
When I first joined this hospital, I was strictly solo. You were the first real buddy I ever had. But if you and he wish to be best buddies again, I won't stand in your way.
So, when I heard he was going to be making his feature film debut, it got me pretty hyped. I really loved what he did when parodying horror cliches with low budget production, but what would it be like when he actually put his mind towards creating a straight up horror film? I was reading an interview where he said he was inspired by public information films, where you watch youthful people make bad decisions that were designed to frighten you into doing the right things in life. He said they terrified him. I understood exactly what he meant. I remember we got shown a farm safety video in school and I had nightmares about it. All it showed was children dying in gruesome ways while playing on a farm. The one that got me the most was a kid who died in a pig pen in the mud. It was just so savage, and I remember being cursed with thoughts of drowning in that mud for ages. With all this in mind, it made me curious what the film was actually about. Then I saw the poster, and I was like, damn, that's a fucking horror poster. Time to fire this bad boy up. The film follows a puppeteer as he comes home. It's not made entirely clear why. All we know is that he's carrying around a puppet he names Possum and that his uncle is staying in their dilapidated home. Throughout the film, his mental state breaks down as he finds that he can't get rid of Possum no matter how hard he tries. This puppet is the most distressing puppet I've ever seen. Good God, does it make your skin crawl. The only way I can describe it is imagine if the baby doll spider from Toy Story was somehow designed by H.R. Giger and then painted by Henry Fuseli. Every time it appeared on screen, it sent a shiver up me. What a magnificently scary prop. The film is low tempo and uneventful. It deals its cards out slowly over time, drip feeding you pieces of information so you can try and deduce what the narrative's really saying for yourself. The movie is a little bit up itself though. I figured out what was going on about 50 minutes in. The film was doing a pretty decent job of making me second guess my presumptions though, until the final scene shatters any chance for arguments by basically flat out telling you the truth of what's going on. Some people might find this more satisfying, but considering how well the film was at being vague and compelling, I feel a more open-ended close to the story would have been stronger. Throughout the film we're given hints that Harris has a past with children that's unsavoury, and that he's more of a fallen figure who's been forced back here rather than come willingly. It makes you cautious to trust his motives and worried about what path he's going down. This is old school horror. It feels like something ripped straight from the 70s. It really reminded me of something like Martin or Don't Look Now with how it flows. Remember when The Woman in Black came out and people complained that the lack of action or scares because it was more traditional? That's what this movie's about. Atmosphere and chilling imagery that implants in your mind. There's long stretches where there's no dialogue, just Harris going about his business with disturbing visuals. It all adds up to a bleak experience, but if you're more of a casual filmgoer, you'll probably end up quite fatigued with how lumbered it is. There's really only two characters the whole film, and they only talk infrequently for short periods.
You won't see me again, Morris.
One day. Train line's down. Home for the holidays you are. But I watch where you're treading, lad. People are talking.
Talking about what?
Do you read the papers?
Sean Harris is terrific. He's always at his best when playing strange creatures you wouldn't want to meet down a dark alley. He's sickly and pained. Every second he looks like he's trying to crawl out of his own skin and be someone else. The soundtrack is also phenomenal. It was done by the BBC Radiophonic Workshop and it just oozes the black heart of horror. The film relies heavily on its sound for a lot of the production, and they did a fantastic job making sure it feels as disturbing as possible. It's a little pretentious, unrelentingly bleak, and suffers from a lack of action, but Possum is one hell of a spooky treat to enjoy on a dark night. If you're a fan of old school horror, give it a watch.
Wait a while, my little child, for what is playing dead? Possum with his black balloons will eat you up in bed.